Okay, hello everybody, Todd here, all things archery and shooting. This is part 2 of my review of this Kainokai Velociraptor Longbow. The specs on this longbow, it's a 58-inch AMO bow. It's got a rating of 28 inches at 50 pounds. My draw length of 29.5 inches. This bow is pulling exactly 51 pounds. Today we're out of the range. We're going to be testing this bow in part 2 of my video here on the chronograph, accuracy-wise, see how it shoots, how quiet it shoots, check it for hand shock, its overall shootability of the bow. Then we'll get back inside and talk about. I'll rate it on my six different criteria I rate all my bows on. The two arrows we're going to be using today are going to be carbon arrows. This first one is a 410 grain carbon arrow. This is a carbon extreme arrow. It's a 450 grain spine. It's 30 inches long. It comes exactly 410 grains. This gives us about 8 grains per pound of draw weight. 8 times 51 gets us 408 grains. So we got a 410 grain arrow. So that's how that works. The next arrow is going to be a hunting weight arrow. This is my hunting weight arrow. This one comes in at 30.5 inches. It's also a 450 spine. But this one's running a 150 grain point up front and a 100 grain insert in it for 250 grains total up front. And the total weight of this arrow comes in at 620 grains. This is roughly about 12 grains per pound of draw weight, okay? So first thing we do is going to be the speed part of this test. We're going to shoot it across the chronograph and see how fast this bow can move these two arrows. We'll shoot 6 arrows. I'll throw out the high, throw out the low, and average the 4 remaining and give us an average velocity. Let's see how this bow does. Okay, I'm going to be standing about 10 foot in front of the chronograph, and the chronograph's about 10 foot in front of the target. First arrow we're going to shoot is going to be the 8 grains per pound of draw weight. This one here is 410 grains total. And we're going to shoot 6 arrows across this target, see how it shoots. All right, first arrow. Here we go. 191. Second arrow. 193. Third arrow. 191. Fourth arrow. 192. Fifth arrow. 195. Sixth and final arrow. 190. Okay, not too bad. It's about 193 feet per second for 8 grains per pound of draw weight for 410 grain arrow. Now we're going to try our hunting weight. It's a 620 grain arrow. Let's shoot the same 6 across the chronograph. We'll reset the chrono. Get it reset. All right, 6 arrows. First arrow coming off the bow. Here we go. 174. Second arrow. 170. Third arrow. 181. Wow. Fourth arrow. 179. Fifth arrow. 169. Sixth and final arrow. 172. Okay. We're going to move now to the Okay, now we're going to move the archery part of the test. We're going to do all archery shooting at 20 yards. I'm going to step off 20 yards. We're going to be aiming for this Morel's life-size hog target. And we're going to be aiming for this orange circle here. I'm going to shoot 5 arrows and see how we get this group tied at 5 arrows. We're going to move to 20 yards, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, that's 5 arrows. I got 4 at about 9 o'clock position, less than 2 inches. I have 1 flyer out here. So 1 at 9 o'clock and 4 at 3 o'clock, about less than 3 inches with 1 flyer. Shoots pretty well, I think. All right, we are shooting the heavyweight arrows on this one, okay? I think longbows just prefer heavyweight arrows. And this bow sure is pretty. I got look at it in the sun here. It's really good. Look at that bow. It's really pretty. Look how pretty that grain is on that bow. Really nice bow. That 58 inch. It's a nice size. It doesn't pinch the fingers at all. But I am noticing something I've never noticed before shooting a longbow. Maybe because it's a high grip. I don't normally shoot a high grip bow like this one. But I can actually feel the feathers, so you can see feather particles coming across the top of my knuckle here when I'm shooting. The feather from my cock feather when it's coming out. I can feel the feathers come across my knuckle there. So I might have to readjust my grip a little bit on this to get my hand a little bit lower down. But it seems to be shooting okay. Let's move over to the deer target now. We'll try that on my 3D deer target. Okay, this is my Delta McKenzie 3D deer target. It started out as a buck, but the antlers fell off. They're shooting so much. But I've replaced this centerpiece twice now. It's my 3rd one in here. It seems to hold up best of all my my 3D targets I've used recently. So I kind of like this target. It's like 120 bucks from Amazon. Great target. But we're going to step off 20 yards now and aim right here and try to put 5 arrows right there. Here we go, 20 yards. Okay. All right, it's 5 arrows, 20 yards, 3-inch group. I got 3 in the bullseye and 2 in the 9 ring. Ugh. I really like, I mean, this 58-inch bow, I like the size of it. My favorite shooting size between a 58 and a 60-inch bow. I really like those. I mean, 56 I can shoot, but I get a little finger pinch on 56, but at 58, 60 seems to be like my sweet spot for bows. Let's stop out and do some more. I'll show you, we'll get some more shots on the targets. We'll check a tiller on the bow, get some forward shots, some back shots, so you can get an idea how the bow performs and how it looks at full draw. and then we'll go inside and talk about the rest of it. Okay, I'm at my 30-yard pin now. I'm shooting 30 yards downrange. I'm gonna be shooting at my 3D bear target. Let's see how this bow performs at range, okay? 30 yards. Here we go. Okay, I'm shooting at 30 yards. I had a real bad shot there, shot way to the right. We'll look at it when we get down there, but the rest seem to be on target. Let's walk there and take a look at it, okay? Oh. Okay. As you can see, my first shot down here, I don't know what happened, but arrow ended up way over here on the far side. I'm not sure if I had a bad release or was on the rest right or something. That flew way over here. But I'm gonna try to show you guys my bloopers and my bad shot. This is one of them. The other 5 I shot, I'm at about a 5-inch group, maybe 5 inches here, a little bit less, all in the right type. And I've got one shot here, one here, one here, and 2 right on top of each other. So I was aiming for this point here. Still not sure what happened with this one, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's 30 yards. Bow does shoot well. What I did, remember I was telling you how the bottom fletching feather was coming across my knuckle. So what I did is I turned my cock feather, instead of being sideways like this, I turned it where it was up, straight up, and it sort of eliminated where that feather was coming across my finger at. Okay, and actually it seemed to shoot better that way for some reason. So, but yeah, that's why I'm shooting now, cock feather up instead of cock feather out, like this. Let's head inside, sit down, talk about this bow and what I think about it, and we'll go over a few things and wrap this video up. All right, see you guys inside. Okay, we just got back from the range session with this Kainokai Velociraptor Longbow. It's a 58-inch AMO bow, 28 inches to 50 pounds. What y'all think of that range session? I mean, I really liked the bow. It shot really well. I mean, it was fairly accurate. It shot where I was looking at. Has very little hand shock. I mean, there's a little bit there, but not a lot. It's not very loud. It's pretty quiet. It's much quieter with the heavy arrows, of course, than it was those lighter arrows. But most longbows are designed to shoot with a heavier arrow anyway. Bow is, I mean, it's a good bow for $149. You really can't go wrong with this bow. I mean, I really like the bow. It shot really well. It's a good looking bow. I like the wood grain in it and the colors. If I do have a complaint, it's only one thing. It's the string. I never like these Chinese strings because they never hold up real well. As you guys know, I shoot most of these bows, probably 200 or 300 arrows before I do my part 2 of my review on my range review. I do it just so I can give the bow a fair review. I really get used to the bow, get shooting with the bow, know where it's hitting at, what have you. And every time I get one of these Chinese bows, it seems like the serving always fails on them. This one's serving's already starting to fail. I mean, I like the 9-inch serving, and it's a nylon serving, which is kind of surprising, but the serving is actually worn through with my nocks there, and it's starting to fail. The nocks don't even stay on anymore. The nocks actually fall. They used to clip on pretty good, but now they're falling off. And also, this string is designed for a recurve, not a longbow. You would think the Chinese, it's nice bow they figure out you really can't use longbow loops on recurve loops on a longbow string. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and order a custom string for this, and I'll order a custom 16. I like a 16 strand string instead of a 14 strand, and I prefer 024 halo serving. Seems to hold up the best. I'll order a custom string for this, designed for a longbow. I think the bow's going to shoot even better. Anyways, let's get to my grading this bow, the criteria of the bow. All right. Remember, I'll grade all my bows on the same 6 things, and I keep them all the same. It's each 6 points are worth, well, each point's worth 1 to 10 for a total of 60. All right. First point I rate a bow on is the quality of the bow, how well the bow's made, just the overall quality of the bow. Okay. Second is the specs of the bow. Specs is how close to the rating the bow is, whether it be the poundage weight, the draw length, whatever the case may be. Make sure it comes, everything is advertised on the internet it comes with. Third is going to be the shootability. Now that's something I assign myself. That's just how fast I can pick this bow up and start shooting it. And the bow, I mean, that's what the shootability is. Each person is going to be different on that, so that's purely subjective on my part. The fourth thing is going to be the speed of the bow. That's the overall speed of the bow across the chronograph, using an 8 grains per pound of draw weight. In this case of this bow, 51-pound bow, I'm shooting a 410 grain arrow, and then 12 grains per pound of draw weight for a hunting weight arrow. And in the case of this bow, is a 620 grain arrow. Okay. Next is going to be how quiet the bow is. I don't put any string stops on my bows or anything, or any limb stops. I want to see how quiet the bow is right from the factory. Okay. And last but certainly not least is the value of the bow. Are you getting a good value for your money with this bow? Okay, let's talk about the quality of the bow. The quality of the bow, I got to say, except for the string, is really good quality. I didn't see any glue lines in the bow. I don't see any sanding marks at all. Everything seems to be good. There's no cracks or like I said, sanding marks or mismarks on the bow limbs. No glue lines at all. It's sanded really smooth. Then it's sprayed with looks like a matte finish clear coat on it. So the quality of the bow itself is really good, but the string is something, the quality of the string is not very good. Most of these bows from China have a good string. It's a good quality. I mean, the material of the string, the D97, it's just the manufacturer's string. They build these, they build them by hand or on a machine. But these things, every Chinese bow I test, the serving always fails on it, and they always send these really large loops for your longbow. These are more designed for a recurve. So from taking off for the string, the quality of the bow, I'm going to have to rate this bow as an 8. Okay. If it wasn't for the string, it'd be a much higher quality, but that string is really poor quality, so we're going to give the bow an 8. But I mean, for $149, you really can't expect to get a $30 or $35 string with it. Okay, so let's give the quality of the bow an 8. Specifications of the bow. Okay, remember, specifications, how close the bow rates to what's advertised. This bow is advertised at a 50-pound bow at 28 inches with a 58-inch AMO. Okay, I measured the bow. It comes in right at 58 inches, so that's okay there. Where it diverges from is the weight. This weight comes in at 48 pounds at 28 inches. Okay, and I rechecked it again. It's actually lost some weight. It's now 47 pounds at 28 inches according to my tiller machine. And before, when I tested the bow in the first part of the video, it was coming in at 51 pounds at my draw length. The bow is now registering 50 pounds at my draw length of 29.5 inches. So it's kind of off there. So I don't know if it's going to finally set in at that weight, or it's going to keep getting lower or what, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. I really haven't come across a bow that actually does that, but it has lost a pound of weight since we took it out of the box and I put several hundred rounds through it. Okay. Secondly, it did come with an arrow rest, like it said it did, which is a hair rest. It did come with that. It also came with a stringer, which is what it said in the advertisement, so that's correct. So overall, I'm going to have to give it an 8 for specifications because the draw weight's off. So let's give it an 8 for specs, okay? Now, shootability of the bow. Okay, this is really interesting. I like longbows. I always do like longbows. You guys watch my videos, you know I prefer longbows over recurves. I mean, I shoot both. But if I had to choose one, it'd probably be a longbow. I really like the way a longbow handles my hand and fits my hand. But I'm used to normally shooting a medium grip, not a low grip or high grip, but a medium grip. This bow is an extremely high grip. I mean, really high. I've never shot a bow with such a high grip. It's almost a straight grip, like you're having an old school D-style longbow, English longbow, because it's just basically a straight piece of wood you're grabbing. Okay, and I found when shooting this that when I was doing that, I was getting an arrow feather. The bottom from the cock feather was facing out. The bottom feather was coming across and was hitting my knuckle there. I could feel it come across my knuckle. And nothing I did moving up and down would work on it. So what I ended up doing, solving that problem, was I ended up putting the cock feather, instead of facing out to the left, I put it up straight up in the air. And it seemed to resolve that issue. And also didn't have any clearance issues when I did that way, which is kind of surprising. Usually you put the cock feather up on, especially off the shelf, on a recurve bow or a longbow, you'll get some clearance issues. But when I tilted the cock feather up, straight up at the 12 o'clock position, it had no clearance issues at all. It actually flew better and straighter, and I wasn't getting that bottom feather brushing across my knuckle. And if you don't think a feather coming across your knuckle could hurt, try it sometimes. Believe me, it feels like someone taking a string and running it across your hand like this. It definitely, you can definitely know it's there. But other than that, that's one thing I didn't like about the grip was that high grip. I'm used to shooting a medium grip, but I probably could get used to this grip now. And now that I got the cock feather turned up, I don't seem to have a problem with it. I was able to, also this bow shoots very accurately too. I was able to get on target with this bow quite quickly. I mean, I always shoot these bows ahead of time before I do the range review, just to be fair to them. I probably put 200 or 300 arrows through it just to get used to the bow. And this thing right away, I picked up, I was on target with it constantly. Boom, 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 arrows right where I need, right where I'm looking at. Even at 30 yards, it was shooting 4 or 5 inch groups at 30 yards. Which for a $149 bow and arrows that aren't really tuned for this bow, that's pretty impressive. I think once I get a set of arrows tuned specifically for this bow, it's going to shoot even better. So it shoots really well. It's really accurate. There is no hand shock at all to the bow. None that I can feel in, no more than any other longbow, but it's very little, if any. It doesn't have any limb slap or noise coming from it, so it's kind of, I mean, the bow is shot really well. It's very light in hand too. It swings really good being a 58-inch bow. So for shootability, I'm going to give this bow also an 8 for shootability. If it wasn't for that grip, which I'm not really used to, it'd probably be a 9, but I'm going to give it an 8 though, okay? Let's talk about the speed of this bow. This is one of the faster bows I've shot. I'm used to Kainokai having fast bows. If you look at one of my videos from, I don't know, several months ago, I did a review on a $61 recurve bow from Kainokai, and that's still the fastest bow to date that I've shot in recurve or longbow. Now that bow was shooting 198, 197 feet per second, which was amazing. Okay, this bow came pretty close at 192 feet per second, which is really impressive for a 410 grain arrow. That's like 8 grains per pound of draw weight. And even at a 620 grain, which is a pretty heavy arrow, it's about a little more than 12 grains per pound of draw weight, this thing came in average at 175 feet per second. But get this, the kinetic energy with that heavy arrow was 42.7, almost 43 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. Now that's a lot from a longbow, so I would not be afraid to take this bow anywhere in the North America, even Alaska, to hunt big game with it, because it hits really hard. And you can hear it out there in the target too when it hit, foo pop, foo pop. You heard that noise? It would really hit hard. So this bow, for speed, I got to give it right up. It's the second fastest bow that I've tested. It's just a little bit, it's not quite as fast as the first Kainokai, a $61 bow. That might have been a freak of nature of that bow, but that bow just was super fast. If you haven't checked that video, go back and check that video. It's amazing how fast that bow, 198, 199 feet per second. The next fastest bow for that was a Black Hunter, which run 190, 191. This one came in at 192. So just barely eased out the Black Hunter bow. So this bow is really quick. So I'm going to give it a 9 for speed. Okay. Quietness of the bow. Now, that's kind of a double-edged sword. Now with the lighter weight arrows, it wasn't very quiet at all. You can definitely hear a twang of the string quite a bit. But when you dropped in 12 grain per pound of draw weight heavyweight arrows, it's quieted right down. I think you put a set of silencers on here, it'd be even more quiet. If you're shooting a heavy arrow, I'm not sure what you can do with them lighter weight arrows. They were really loud out of this bow. So, like I said before, longbows seem to always prefer a much heavier weight arrow, and this is no different. So, because of that, I'm going to give the bow probably, I'll give it a 8 for quietness on a bow, okay, which is pretty good, okay. Last thing is the value of this bow. Now, this bow is a Chinese-made bow. You can get them on Amazon. When I bought this bow, it was $149 shipped to my door because I have Prime. I just went back on there recently and looked at it. The bow's $159 now, which is still, I think, is a good bargain. You're getting a one-piece wood bow made out of diamond wood. It comes with a arrow rest. It comes with a string. It comes with a bow stringer. I mean, for $149 to get a longbow that performs like this one does, it's really, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat. It really is. I mean, the value of the bow is definitely there, and I would recommend this bow for the money-wise. So value, I'm going to give this bow a 9 as well, too, okay? All right, let's average all those numbers up and see where it falls at all my tests, okay? 24, 32. This comes in at 50 out of 60. So a total of 50 out of 60. That puts this the third best bow that I've reviewed in the past year. All right, well, that has been the Kainokai Velociraptor bow. I don't like the name. The name's kind of corny. I don't like the name at all. They could have come with something else, but hey, I didn't name the thing. But that's what it's called. But check it out on Amazon. I put a link on part 1 of this video. There's got a link to where you can buy this if you want to get it. It's a really great bow. I get nothing from you buying this bow from Amazon. It's just when I really like a bow and I find it a really good bow, I'll leave a link in my description for you guys if you want to peruse it and buy it yourself. But this bow shoots really well. I mean, there's no finger pinch at all, which is quite amazing for a 58-inch longbow. And I got no finger pinch, and I have a pretty good size draw. My draw is 29.5 inches. So, I mean, the bow just shot really well. I'm looking forward to getting a custom string built for this thing, getting some silencers on it, and tuning some arrows for it. I think this will quickly become one of my favorite longbows shooting, okay? Next to my black hunter bow and my Mandarin duck. My Mandarin duck right now is the king of the hill for my longbows, but this thing's coming in a close second, okay? If this thing was a 2-piece tail on my Mandarin duck, it'd be my favorite bow. But I gotta say, that Mandarin duck shoots really well too, and being a 2-piece takedown, easy to try with, it kind of one-ups this bow. But this bow is an excellent bow, great bow. If you get a chance, check it out. I think you'll like it. All right, this has been Todd with All Things Archery and Shooting. Until next time, guys, ciao.